This was clearly a response from someone who knew she'd lose if she had to go up against Toko.
Yeah.
了解。そういう事態になったら善処する。
Well, if I ever have to throw you into one of my dungeons, I'll make it not as sucky, I guess.
はーい。そういう事態ってどんな事態？
誰かの味方をするのはいいけど、私の敵に回った時かな。あと、今日のことを口外した瞬間、足元からパクッといくから気をつけて。
Huh.
足元って影のこと？ああ、あれ、そもそもなんていうか、トコちゃん、私一歩も動けないんだけど。
Oh.
ごめんなさい、リツカ。実は
Oh
1
my
週間かけて
God.
あなたの部屋に罠を仕掛けてたの。ノアの教会に影で作った使い魔を仕込ませたみたいな。しばらくはあなたの影に住み着いているから、私に不利な
Well,
証
that
言した
explains
ら
why she didn't do
大変だ
anything.
ぞ。
That's just rude.
Damn.
私すでに大変だったのか。悪魔、人でなし、天才悪魔。トコちゃんはもう少し一般常識を学ぶべきです。もう道理で夜な夜な泥棒さんがピッキングしてると思った。
Ritsuka hadn't noticed the shadow familiar, but she had sensed Toko as she was setting her trap late at night. Toko didn't think Ritsuka could speak about common sense, since she'd ignored an apparent burglar trying to break into her home for a week.
Well.
その使い魔、年明けには解けるから安心なさい。
Oh, good.
じゃあね、リツカ。縁があったらまた会いましょ
Hopefully
う。
we'll meet again.
その時は自慢のコーヒーをご馳走してね。
As long as you don't say anything rude that causes my shadow to, kill you.
あと深夜販売の商品だってバカにできたもんじゃないわ。あのシンプルさ結構好きよ、私。
Can I get like a buy two get one free sale on Ritsuka's? If she's an infomercial product, that'd be cool. But wait, call now and we'll throw in a second Ritsuka absolutely free. Toko winked at her old friend and left the apartment behind her. Hopefully we'll meet again.
Yeah.
Toko realized those were empty words. Her plan wouldn't spare her mortal body. Be it a success or be it a failure, Toko Aozaki would be erased from this world.
Because she's planning to go to the root?
Still, that was no reason not to at least say something about meeting again. Perhaps Toko had more affection for Ritsuka than she realized.
Maybe.
Even so, she left that friend behind in a state of paralysis.
Yeah.
Toko had indeed returned home. That fact alone revealed much to Ritsuka. 2 years older than Toko, Ritsuka had been contracted 10 years prior to monitor Toko's grandfather, the mage who discovered the fifth magic.
Was she
So
actually 15
So
when that happened?
Ritsuka's 25, she would have been 15.
Hmm.
Hey, 15-year-old girl, please go spy on this old man who has true magic.
Well, a path to true magic. I don't know if he'd actually gotten it yet.
That made her both Toko and Aoko's senior, and she knew the sisters rather well.
そりゃ口止めの一つもしないとね。トコちゃんを見て真っ先に警戒するのは私と。
One other person. Another with more seniority than the Aozaki sisters in the truest sense. There was one other beautiful person who had taught Toko.
ま、そっちはそっちで根回ししてるかな。
Your sister or the priest or
トコちゃん
Alice?
ならそのあたり完璧だろうけど。もうちょっとこう、敵には非常になった方がいいわよね。トコちゃんは相手の人権を尊重しすぎっていうか、根本が甘いっていうか。殺すと決めた相手に顔を見せるとか、どうかと思うの、私。
Toko was a researcher more than she was a mage. Generally, she wasn't a fighter. She was cruel but not cold. Despite her capability for vicious, ruthless treatment of people, she also displayed a measure of compassion for others. Ritsuka sighed as if the problem were her own, and hoped that inconsistency wouldn't end up hurting Toko. Toko left the neighborhood and began heading toward the largest park in town. It was 3 in the afternoon on this early winter day on the boulevard. If it were autumn, the street would be lined with people out for a walk to look at the colorful trees, but now Toko was alone. Though to be accurate, she wasn't quite alone. Bayo was walking along the grass more than 10 yards behind his employer when he noticed a change in her scent.
瞳子さん、こんな街中でメガネ外してる？
Yeah, what? Her scent changes with the glasses?
Toko's
Is that it?
personality changed significantly depending on whether or not she was wearing her glasses. Bayo wasn't sure which side was her true self, but he did know that she was much more serious and cruel without her glasses. It wasn't quite to the level of a split personality, more like a reordering of priorities. She mainly took off her glasses when she was about to fight someone. Doing so made her less human, pushed all sense of compassion, concern, and sympathy out of her brain.
ってことは、さっきから近づいてくる匂いは
It's not getting
瞳
closer
子
as
さん
her
の
enemy.
敵なんだけど。
Supplement. Bayo furrowed his brow as he hid behind a tree. He could certainly smell hostility and anticipation emanating from Toko, but at the same time he couldn't help but scrunch his nose up at the strange scent that kept getting stronger.
Yeah.
なんとなしに散歩していただけなのですが、
What a
また
coincidence
出会え
meeting
る
you
とは
here.
奇遇ですね。
Yes.
ああ、たまたま続いた偶然だ。世間話をする仲でもなし、挨拶を交わす程度に済ませよう。
Bayo had no idea who was talking to Toko. His name was... What? Bayo had no idea. His name was Eri
Well,
Fumitsuka.
so they're letting us know, but Bayo doesn't know who that is, so.
Fumitsuka. He was a priest of Ida Church and an enemy to Bayo and Toko. However, it was impossible for Bayo to sense this. He had no personal hostility toward the clergy anyway.
Bless you.
As far as Bayo could tell, he was just a regular person. There was no chance that Toko could be at a disadvantage here. He would later learn a harsh lesson from someone who seemed similarly harmless, but that was a tale for another time.
そちらの状況はどうなんだ？神の家は働き者揃いだからな。利権を漁りに来る欲深は現れそうか？
いや、働き者というのは全力で肯定しますけど、欲が深いとかそんな人は少ないですよ。こちら彼らがやってくるときは大抵は競技のためですから、欲望より責務で動く人たちって怖くないですか？
Yeah, I can kind of
無駄
see
話
that.
はしないと言っただろう。
I think he's talking about you,
結論を言う。
potentially.
お前の腰巾着は金を鳴らしそうか？
やれやれ、人のことは言えませんよ。瞳子さんだってワーカホリック寸前じゃないですか。もっとこう余裕のあるコミュニケーションを取りませんか？立場上いつ最後の仰せになるかわからないわけですし。
ふざけろ。いつも何もこれが最後だよ、エリ。
Oh. Just declaring it's the last time we'll ever meet, huh?
Toko curtly rejected the smiling priest's request for a chat. She was being as blunt as she could.
Yeah.
だいたい次があるとしたら、その時は殺し合いだろう。お互い手の内は知っているしな。顔を合わせた瞬間、どちらかが死んでいる。
それは瞳子さんだけの思い込みですけどね。どうしてこう邪魔者は始末するという方向でしか物事を考えられないんでしょうか。
You mean you
あなた
people?
たちは。
Ares shrugged his shoulders in frustration. Toko kept her gaze fixed intently on his overcoat. No matter how many times he said he wanted to resolve this peacefully,
Yeah.
she would bet her pride he didn't mean it.
Probably had some black keys under there, just waiting.
Like a fuck ton of them.
まったく、そういうところも成長して帰ってくるんですから、育つのは女性としての魅力だけに留めておいてほしいものです。
This is why I didn't ask you to run away to Mexico with me.
Right, yeah.
ああ、そう睨まない。本題に入りますから。
Reminder, this is the man who asked a 15-year-old Aoko to run away to Mexico with him.
I know, yeah.
目下、教会への報告は私が一任されています。司祭への報告は、現在、管理者は異端者と交戦中、中立の条約に基づき、 司祭代理権限で監督中。
Okay, so he's not going to
No.
say that it's an
異端者の所属は不
association
明。
mage.
現在履歴を調査中といったところで
Rather
す。
nice of him.
この町に現れた魔術師は所属不明ということになっているんだな。
ええ。シスターユイカは私とは別所轄の方ですが、彼女は異端者の攻防はおろか、その姿さえつかめていません。
Right.
I imagine it would be quite tricky for Yuika to see the heretic, in that
yeah.
she's blind.
Yeah, that's true.
彼女が単独で敵の正体を暴くまで、教会から横槍が入ることはないんじゃないですかね。今まで通り、土地を狙いに来た馬術師同士の小競り合いだと思っているんじゃないですか。
Who knows whatever Yuika could be
そうか。
thinking about all this.
では取引成立だな。お前が私の帰国の剣を握りつぶしている間は、私も多少回り道をする。青
よかった。東子さんは無差別な破壊工作はしませんが、とにかく最適な道筋を好みますから。
So
勢
you
い、
trust her not to
ど
make a
こぞ
huge
の
mess
工
of
場と
things?
かオフィスビルとか秘密基地にしそうでしょ。 私がこちらに赴任している間、流血事件が続くと困るというか、私の評価が落ちるようなことは何とも。
Don't worry, the bloodshed will be just outside.
Toko had to resist the urge to object and ask what kind of person he thought she was. She did hate wastefulness, but she wasn't about to entirely abandon society and its norms just for the sake of doing things optimally. Besides, criminal activities were always a pain to clean up later and thus far more inefficient.
まあいいさ。お互いの利益が一致したんだからな。では、あとはことが済むまで生還を決め込んでおけ。
もうお帰りですか。名残惜しいですね。結局一度も今のあなたの素顔を見られなかった。
This guy.
私は逆だ。そのカマキリ面もこれで見納めかと思うと。
Well, you've certainly got a Rin Kirei relationship with that priest.
あ
I
あ、待って
guess.
ください。お別れの前に一つ質問を。
Stupid Kirei thinks Satan plays by his rules. Eri spoke just as Toka was about to take a step back. He had effortlessly stopped her from leaving.
所感なのですが、
Oh,
Toko-san.
okay.
今大変息苦しくはありませんか。
まさか。
Stifled, huh?
私はかつてないほど充実しているよ。なぜそんなことを聞く、エリ？
いえ、だって楽しそうではありますが、幸せそうではありませんので、あなた自身気づいてはいないようでしたから、
He's
時期と
having
して心配
fun,
になっ
but
たの
not
です。
truly happy.
Well, she doesn't have true magic yet, so of course she's not truly happy.
I guess.
幸せの定義か。
Like cheap entertainment, maybe?
思い出したよ。お前の口癖だったな、それは。全くその通りだ。私の良しとする幸福が他人であるお前にわかるものか。
いや、そりゃ細かいところまではわかりませんけどね。特に女の人の幸福感なんて、それこそ危機快快ですから。
Wow, way to be sexist about it, dude.
ですがほら、
Guess
幸
he's
福の
admitted he
形は
can't
2つに
understand them.
大別できます。東子さんの場合、それすら気づいていないようですから、大変見苦しいなと思いまして。
ほう。
Ooh.
ご忠告イタミエル。腐っても兄弟子というわけか。いいぞ。聞いてやるから言ってみろ。
If it happened to be something worthless, she'd kill him. If it erased all the progress she made on her plans over the past month, or even the last 2 years, she'd kill him. Toko's hostility had clearly turned to murderous rage.
当たり前のことですよ。相対的なものと絶対的なもの、比べる相手がいるかいないかが幸福の違いです。自分が穏やかであれば幸福なのか、それともどんなに満ち足りていても 人より劣っていては我慢できない人間なのか。
Huh, okay.
幸福の定義なんて詰まるところはその2つですよ。私が言うまでもありませんが、多くの人間はただ人より少しだけ幸せでありたいのです。
The holy man smiled calmly, wrapped in his shadowy black clothing. Toko remembered clearly now. This was a man who actually didn't believe in the true concept of happiness.
ほら、そんな殺気は収めて、シスターユイカが飛んできます。
And that would make
トウ
things
コさんの
inconvenient
幸
for
福
you.
感は絶対的なもの。あなたは自分が確かであれば満ち足りるタイプの人だったんですけどね。他人が気になるなんて、そんな相対的な幸福感を持っているのが、
He stopped
yeah.
himself before he could say Aoko.
Yeah.
The priest seemed to have spoken out of genuine concern for Toko, but his words had the opposite effect on her. Although he was reluctant to part on such ill terms, Airi knew it was best not to anger Toko any further.
言葉が過ぎました。お許しを、ハイマスター。それでは私はこれで、あなたたちにとっていい結果になることを祈っています。
さっさと消えろ極つぶし。最後まで陰気臭い真似をしやがって。だいたいその服装どうなんだ？街中でマントなんて羽織って敬遠されないのか？
That's probably
皆
the
さん
idea.
もう慣れてくださいましたから。
Oh.
それに、ほら、この格好だと獲物を刺していてもバレないでしょ。
Thought so.
まあ、トウコさんには見抜かれてしまいましたが、
Oh, only
相
3?
手があなたですか
I
ら、
feel like you could have done better than
恥ずか
that.
しながら
Unless he means 3 types
長
of
物を
weapons.
3本ほどこっそり。
Oh, is that more than she thought?
Airi turned and walked back in the direction he came from with a smile still on his face.
ふざけやがって。こっちは
あ
1本。それも担当ぐらいにしか抜け
She
なかった。
missed two, huh?
そもそも3本ってなんだ？魔術師でもないくせにどうやったら隠せるんだ？あのバカ、手品師にくら替えしたわけじゃあるまいな。
I mean, that cloak is pretty good at hiding stuff strapped to your waist or something.
You also don't need a huge amount of space for black keys.
Yeah.
Like, they take up less space than a dagger.
Yeah. They seem pretty easy to carry around.
Toko muttered to herself as she thought back over the man who had stood before her just moments ago.